What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is influencing it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down 3.36%, 445 the low, 465 the high. So you have a lot of volatility today. Second half of the day, algorithmic trading is kind of taking over. You can tell that based on a lot of the barcoding right here. And even just generally rather low volume. So 34.1 million for volume, 59.4 is the average. Algorithms are taking it down, just the broader sentiment right now isn't all that great. And plus, you're not really seeing any large entities lining up to buy. So far today, one transaction on the secondary market. Regrettably, it is a sell, and it was done at 9:32 for 156,000. So I think just a lot of crap is happening in the broader market, a lot of FUD, even based on what I brought up yesterday about the weekly numbers. Supposedly those are wrong and incorrect, so just wanted to bring that up. As far as I know, I don't think any edits have been made, so I don't know what the true numbers are, but still, regardless, this is why you always do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Do not trust the internet. Even myself, whatever I say, just kind of double check it and all the other fun jazz. But as of today, just algorithms are kind of taking NIO down. No news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. Two things I do want to bring up though, one of which was this. So it looks like there was a critic talking on various different things. So long-term vision versus short-term strategic ideas. So just complaining about NIO in general. And the CEO actually did state and admit that there's many areas needing improvement. So I guess there's different ways to see this. You can kind of see that as being more self-aware. So that is positive, but at the same time, it's not really, at this stage in the game, there shouldn't be many areas needing improvement, right? But yeah, just wanted to bring this up. I kind of found this rather interesting. The only other couple of things that did come out was this. So it looks like NIO is entering Azerbaijan, if I'm saying that right. Probably butchered it, but it is through a local partner, similar to the news about this. So Delic Motors out of Israel. I just don't know if the actual infrastructure is fully there yet, where NIO could actually substantially benefit. So I don't see this as a good reason to go out and buy NIO because of this news. But once again, I just wanted to kind of bring that up. And then the only other thing that is coming out that is going to affect American EVs is this. So it looks like Trump is wanting to kind of kill that $7,500 consumer tax credit. So generally we knew that was coming, but I think that might level the playing field a little bit because a lot of individuals have stated that American EVs have always had this as kind of like a safety crutch. But removing this, again, comparing apples to apples now, it might make things kind of interesting. But of course, Trump and the EU are imposing tariffs, so that still might not necessarily be all that level, if that kind of makes sense. But as of today, shorts are returning 509,000 shares. So this is why I like to analyze this information, because by NIO being rather red, you would anticipate shorts to easily double down and really try to suppress NIO more than what's already happening, but they're not. So I see that as rather bullish, but still by shorts returning 509,000 shares, just in case you don't know, that does mean that they are adding buying pressure, so it's not really helping the price all that much. But 14.24% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 190.22 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization 91.45, and then cost to borrow average is 2.62%. So the only downside about NIO, especially given the circumstances, and it does get a fair amount of volume normally, is still algorithms just take up majority of the volume as well as shorts. So it's pretty much whatever they see fit, and this overall sentiment is what really affects NIO. So it's one of those kind of crappy things that the market's going good, NIO doesn't really participate. The market's going down, then NIO decides to participate. It's just a very flawed thing that does happen. But Options wise, 2.8 million in calls, 1.5 million in puts. So kind of low dollar value. But one thing I do want to bring up was this. So between 9:35 and 9:40 this morning, you did see 214,000 in premiums. So if we kind of look at this a little bit, it shows all the premiums and how much it was. So it was a multi-leg transaction, but generally all very bullish. And it looks like they were kind of selling $4.50 puts. So in case you don't know what that means, essentially if it is below that 450, they buy it at 450. Or flip side, if it does close above 450, then they get to keep that premium. So which is pretty substantial if you kind of look at it that way. So yeah, this is rather good. It is for next week, so November the 22nd expiry date. So out of everything in the blood in the market, this is rather optimistic. So something to keep in mind. Of the call options that are being purchased though, you do see consensus for it to be roughly around that $5 range, and encumbering their earnings, because that is coming out on the 20th, you see some consensus for it to be around that $6 range. So this is kind of the first time in like a week that you are starting to see actual hedging associated to their earnings. So it's kind of interesting, the fact that it's like waiting until today. But yeah, if you definitely do options, that's one way to really hedge and kind of bet. If you do really like a stock though, on a side note, you can always sell puts, because like I already mentioned, essentially if it does go below that, you get to buy it at the price you want and you get to keep the premium. Or if it does go higher, you get to keep the premium. So it's kind of a win-win. But the bears are anticipating for that same week for it to be sub $4. So a little bit more give and take as of right now. So hopefully big money does start to really get back into NIO after their earnings. But as of right now, with it at $4 and change, it is trading between this S1 and the S2. So $4.89 is that next strong target. Wasn't even touched or anything like that today. And then flip side, $4.32 is that next strong support. So definitely watch for that. But moving over to IBKR, no new analyst ratings or anything like that. But essentially, it is more breaking down. So it is below the 50-100 200-day moving averages, below the ALMA. Stochastic RSI, you do see it has reset, but you do see at the same time a bearish deviation. So the orange line above the blue. But yeah, it's rather oversold right now. So if there is a good piece of news or possibly from their earnings, then you could see a rush of value investors. But there's just a hell of a lot of blood in the market right now. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Plus, even moving over to looking at the general like news, what people are talking about, nothing substantial, right? So just a lot of other EV related news, so Rivian and Volkswagen and whatever else. So yeah, hopefully NIO's upcoming earnings, they do beat on their actual kind of estimates. Closer to the date, I'll go over all of that, but currently negative 31 cents for the earnings per share, and then 2.65 billion for the revenue. So what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Two things: take advantage of this promo. It does give you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Then over and above that, I did launch a private Discord where I give buy signals on stocks and options, and they've been absolutely killing it. So make sure you guys pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.